Stuff. I am happy to say I've finally gotten around to playing Moon Remix RPG Adventure. Now I say finally because from how I'd watched people talk about it, Moon always felt as if something I need to experience for its importance. Which is something I don't usually feel for landmark titles. Mario? Now that's boring. Elder Scrolls? Ew! But Moon being so influential yet obscure really appealed to me. I mean, it was only released on the PS1 in Japan, and only in 2019 did it actually receive an official translation. But still, Moon would go on to inspire many a game, with Undertale adopting its themes and concepts, and even shit like Petscop taking influence both aesthetically and mechanically. Not to mention the developer Love-de-Lic would split into a whole slew of successor studios, as their key people went to work on a lot of Nintendo's weirder titles, like with Chibi Robo and the Mario RPGs, as well as more general cult classic titles like Tulip and Rule of Rose. I mean, if people feel compelled enough to make whole entire charts tracking this stuff, then it goes to show the kind of legacy Love-de-Lic has attained over the years. So here I am, playing catch-up to see what Moon is all about. The story opens late at night with a wee child playing an RPG, when after being scolded by his mother, he's inexplicably sucked into the game world. It's basically the same premise as the Cheetah Men, but instead of being thrown into a Ninja Turtles ripoff, the kid is sent off to the fictional land of Love-de-Lic. After an introduction with some of the characters and donning a Rayman-esque attire, the boy finds himself in a whole slew of goofy scenarios doing tasks for people. While exploring, the boy will occasionally butt heads with the supposed hero of the game, as he goes around killing innocent creatures on his quest to defeat the dragon and return the stolen moon. Now, the main goal of Moon can be broken down to these key points: explore, save animals, help people, spread love. Cause yeah, this game is one big deconstruction of RPGs and their tropes. Monster battles are forgone in favor of saving their souls. And instead of NPCs being sidelined for the sake of a grand story, the NPCs are the story. It not only makes a statement about violence in games, but goes to show how the background characters of a story live just as fleshed out lives as the main hero does. Hell, they even throw in some political commentary in regards to capitalism and activism, which, goddamn, this game has so much shit to say. I imagine it would have hit harder for people back in the 90s when these subversive ideas were fresh. But still, what Love-de-Lic has crafted is a wonderful rebellious exploration of the RPG genre. And that exploration is felt in the gameplay itself, because once the beginning section is over, the world pretty much becomes entirely open. Sure, there are some roadblocks that require the completion of certain quests, but for the most part, you explore the map in a non-linear fashion. The only thing limiting this exploration is the time limit in the corner of the screen, which, yeah, I did not appreciate this much when I first started playing. But as I leveled up from accruing love, which is easily done by helping people and animals, this time limit can be increased. And after a certain point, the time limit becomes so lenient that it's pretty much a non-issue. Not to mention, there's also unlockable shortcuts and items that make traversal easier. NPCs fill the world of Moon, and make up a significant portion of what you do in the world. Every character has their own side quest for you to complete, but most of the time you aren't directly told what that task is. It's up to you to actually talk with them and piece together their problems and how to help them. What adds another layer to this is that every NPC follows their own set schedule throughout the week, meaning you need to plan out where to go at a specific time, on top of whatever items are required or roadblocks need to be completed. It all leads to a very adventure-gamey type of puzzle solving. Though I'm gonna be real, I've made liberal use of a guide, because I am one dense motherfucker. But that didn't hinder my experience, because I still got to appreciate the charming writing from these quests. Not only seeing the personal lives of these colorful characters, but being thrown into whatever wacky scenarios and fun minigame that pops up. I mean, what other RPG lets you casually chloroform a guy? And some of these fetch quests even lead to genuinely touching moments, with writing that's both silly and heartwarming. So yeah, the side quests are pretty great. I suppose the most involved part of the gameplay would be the monster catching. Okay, well, besides fishing. Fuck! It's fairly simple. Just press the catch button when next to an animal soul and they'll be sent away to the moon. But the puzzles surrounding each animal are incredibly creative, from using items and environmental mechanics to persuade or trap the animal soul. Each soul has their own behavioral traits, and so you need to pay attention to their description and patterns to figure out what to do. When you understand a solution, the puzzles are fun, maximizing each environment in a multitude of ways. Some of them can be one big waiting game, looking at you, Cyclophant. But for the most part, the animal catching is engaging, and a nice way to round out Moon, both mechanically and thematically. Damn, look at Tommy. Certified Tommy moment. God, just look how pretty this game is. Colorful 2D sprite art, lush illustrations, and plenty of charming pre-rendered 3D backgrounds. I mean, just look at this shot of Dr. Hager's lab. The way the perspective shifts and pans, giving it scale. That's the kind of frameable background I'm looking for. And the use of claymation is super cool, creating an otherworldly vibe while making all the animals look so scrunkly. I just adore this use of mixed media. It comes together so cohesively that I can't imagine Moon looking any other way. The character designs are also really fun in their use of shapes and colors, adding to the cartoony storybook look. Hell, the lead character designer previously worked on Super Mario RPG, which does explain the sort of whimsical yet caricaturish qualities of the character designs. Side note, but the same dude also went on to design Greavard and Houndstone for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Which, I don't know, it's just kinda wild to me. Love Greavard though. Real little guy energy. The music's also pretty great. The ominous drones of the title screen shifting into an upbeat, inviting tune in the file select is such a vibe. And the piano music for the map screen is genuinely so beautiful. Like, jeez, calm down, it's just a map. The sound design is also super well done, with crispy menu sounds that tickle my brain. And the spliced up character speech sounds are a real highlight.
Whoa. I'm the reason they wrote having a stove. Fire, tang, minus.
She loved.
You can even tell when the audio source is in a different language, which makes the characters feel that more otherworldly, and I adore it. I suppose the only thing lacking in the audio department would be the ambience feeling a bit empty. But that's to make room for the whole Moondisc system. Within the neighboring caves is a whole little music store that you can browse. Here you can purchase songs from a whole bunch of in-universe bands and artists. And with this dedicated menu, you can queue up a whole little playlist, crafting your very own OST. I ended up not really using this feature much. For one, I'm too lazy to piece together a playlist that fit whatever I'm doing. And two, I kinda enjoy the weird empty ambience. But the fact they can do this at all is super fucking cool. It also helps that the music selection is very nice, with a wide range of pop, jazz, quirky electronic, and traditional acoustic stuff. The little reviews that accompanies each song from the record store guy is an amazing touch. I love that so much. The music was done by Love-de-Lic's internal music team, as well as an array of indie artists in Japan. They even got Akira Yamaoka to contribute a couple tracks, which is like the third video in a row where I brought up Yamaoka. I just can't escape this man. When it comes to the environments, they're given the same level of charm and personality as the characters themselves. The main town square's got those JRPG town vibes down to a T, with its numerous shops and wee fountain that lights up at night. Shout out to the bar with its warm, cozy wooden hues and homey decorations. I'd probably sleep here too. The main field gives off such a comfortably odd feeling. The flat grass plains mixed with the copy-pasted 3D rocks and mechanical sounds from the Rainbow Machine. It gives off Teletubby vibes in that supposed to be naturalistic but still uncannily artificial way, and I dig it. And these rock crabs never fail to make me smile. Whoever came up with the idea to use this sound effect, I love you. There's also the tropical fields with its vibrant greens and strange red trees and... Is that the Mr. Krabs walking sound? And peep this mushroom forest, with its trippy fading pathways, thick darkness illuminated by the glowing particles throughout. And it has my favorite looking fishing spot. Overall, really cool place. Even though it took me like an hour trying to find all the mushrooms needed for the ritual. And I love the haunted house nearby, with its warm hues contrasting the green accents and dramatic lighting. I love the outside area pulling the camera back to emphasize the scale. And I enjoy the bathroom and jail cell that's just here for some reason.
Internet.
The ending area is still one of my favorite parts of Moon, with the way it tugged at my emotions in every which way. But I ain't gonna show it here, cause I think you should experience the magic for yourself. Because, yeah, I fucking adore Moon. You could say I even loved it. The visuals and sound, the writing, walking around doing tasks. It scratches a particular itch in my brain that I didn't know I even had. So now, all that's left for me is to descend deeper into the Love-de-Lic rabbit hole. That chart I showed earlier? You bet your ass I'm following that thing. I mean, Tulip and Rule of Rose look cool. Those Tingle games seem interesting. Just a treasure trove of new things for me to experience. But for real, this whole talk about Moon was really just a way for me to prepare for Stray Children. I saw people talk about it when it was first revealed in a Japanese Nintendo Direct. And I thought, damn, this shit looks cool. I should check it out when it releases. So to hear that it's basically a spiritual successor to Moon, with the same director and studio that made Moon's modern port, I knew I had some homework to do to understand its greater context. Which Stray Children did release, but only in Japan. So I figured in the meantime, while a localization is in the works, that I'd play Moon. But yeah, expect a Stray Children video when that thing does get an English translation. Because I'm now a Love-de-Lic fan. Spread love, huh? Well, not anymore.
Now I want to kill and spread evil.
So to satiate my thirst for blood, I've also been playing Guilty Gear Judgment, a side-scrolling beat-em-up spin-off of the Guilty Gear series released exclusively on the PSP. Now, I don't have that much experience with the Guilty Gear series. I've only played some of Strive and a bit of the first game for like 10 minutes, but that did not hinder my enjoyment of Judgment, cause damn, I had a great time. With the switch to a beat-em-up style, it meant simplifying the button inputs needed for moves and combos. So it retains the flashiness of the usual fighting games, but with less effort needed to look cool, which I fucked with majorly. Just blasting through crowds of enemies without a care in the world, pulling off sick juggles and special moves, it's awesome. It's similar to the kinds of single-player modes that be included in fighting games, in the same vein as the dungeon crawling mode in Tabal or the beat-em-up modes of Tekken. Though here, you sadly can't collect any
Chicken.
Presentation's great as well. Crispy pixel art, lush backgrounds, gritty UI, and music that goes harder than this falling metal pipe sound effect that I keep barring up. Being made for a handheld though, you can definitely feel budget limitations. I mean, it comes bundled with Guilty Gear X2, and just look at that arcade game's fancy, fully animated intro sequence. And then you go to Judgment and get greeted by a bunch of PNGs fading in and out. Even the in-game cutscenes are mostly just characters standing around with text boxes, which I guess is still charming for a Wii portable title. But yeah, Judgment's pretty cool. I could go more in depth on it, but I kinda wanna save that for a potential video on fighting game genre spin-offs. Like, did you know there's a Tekken spin-off that's basically a Resident Evil clone? There's just no end to the weirdness. Damn, maybe I should get back to that love stuff. And with that, we've got Kirby 64, Crystal Shards. A couple videos ago I played Kirby's Dream Land 3, and consequently fell in love with it. So I figured I'd check out director Shinichi Shimomura's next Kirby project. Shimomura's vision of Kirby feels so distinct from the rest of the series, so I was excited to see the Crystal Shards follow a lot of the same ideas and design, basically making it Dreamland 3 too. Though, last time I checked, 3 times 2 doesn't equal 64, so this game is already dumb as fucking rocks. Story's basically the same as Dreamland 3, dark matter waltzes in and Kirby's gotta do something. Though now there's these fairy characters, which changes the vibe a bit. Also nice to see Adenine promoted from a boss to part of the main cast. She was always a standout encounter in Dreamland 3. While the world themes are the same as before, you know, grass, water, snow, the actual level locales are way more varied. We got Greek ruins, glowy coral reefs, and even a weird factory, which adds more visual variety to the adventure. And the visuals on the whole are super nice. In place of the hand-drawn pastel aesthetic of Dreamland 3, is now a 3D, 2.5D style with super clean, Dreamcastian models. What really impressed me though with the presentation is in the extensive camera work. The way it pans and pulls to emphasize the size of set pieces. It makes going through each level a meticulously directed experience. And combined with how the environments are constructed, it feels as though you're peering into a little diorama of Kirby's world. I imagine HAL went with this 2.5D approach because they couldn't translate Kirby to 3D just yet. Hell, it wouldn't be until another 22 years that there'd be a full 3D Kirby game. So with the Crystal Shards, they did their best to give the impression of going through a 3D world, and I love how it turned out. And that goes for the atmosphere as well. There's so many parts in the stages that made me stop to take in the scenery. This cozy little cabin in the first area, this zipline section in the forest. The music also helps with this, with a nice tinny reverby sound that makes everything feel like a dream. I was really surprised to see how fleshed out the cutscenes are, with a large amount of them showcasing the cuteness that the series knows best, and gives the Crystal Shards more personality. Also, check out this wee witch in the background. I don't get why they're an Easter egg in this game when they're just a normal enemy in Dreamland 3. But they're still witches, so I'm not complaining. Gameplay's pretty similar to Dreamland 3. They nerfed Kirby's floating ability, which doesn't bother me, but I guess the devs wanted to make sure people actually engage with the level design instead of flying over everything. What did bother me though was how Kirby no longer has that weight he had from Dreamland 3. So while he's a bit snappier to control, there's no longer that satisfaction that comes from trying to speed through the levels. Level design also feels a little more basic. Not that Kirby games in general are that complex. but some levels here feel like long stretches of flat ground with not much going on. But honestly, none of that really matters when there's so many cute and silly set pieces peppered throughout. River rafting with Waddle Dee, teaming up with King Dedede, long falling sequences. It offers more variety. There's also the titular crystal shards you need to collect, with 3 hidden in every level. They're kinda similar to the heart stars from Dreamland 3, though nowhere near as fun to collect. They're usually hang out in the open, or given upon defeating a boss, mini or otherwise. The only sort of puzzle aspect they have is with some crystals needing specific abilities to access. But those were like the worst heart stars to get in Dreamland 3. Oh well, they're not intrusive or anything, so I can't get too mad at them. For this adventure, the animal friends are gone. Well, except for a cameo. So the new central mechanic here is the combo ability system. You take an ability you have, chuck it at an enemy, and create a fusion of those 2 abilities. It's similar to the different combinations of animals and abilities from Dreamland 3, though definitely more intuitive here. You can even fuse the same abilities together to create a supercharged version of it. When it comes to the different kinds of fusions, some of them are really cool and reward experimentation, though some are pretty stupid and flat out useless. I could get more into the specifics, but I don't want to waste your time and... Wait, this is my video. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Top 5 combo abilities in Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards! Number 5. Electric Rock. It summons a rock that bounces all over the place and eventually explodes. Might feel a bit limiting at first, but it's real handy when running through corridors. Number 4. Ninja Star. A fast and snappy projectile that feels badass to use. And the little pause before the enemy explodes is super satisfying. Number 3. Fire Sword. I mean, come on, you're lugging around a goddamn fire sword. It's anime as hell and fills me with the same energy as awesome fucking evil blue flaming skull next to a keyboard with the G key highlighted. Number 2. Double Fire. Now this one just feels like cheating. Pop this baby and say fuck you to all level design as you rocket forward, demolishing enemies. Only setback is you can't control how far you'll go, but all in all it's a great ability. Number 1! Fridge. Man, I love video games. Love. Well, glad to know all my antics cracked you up.